Listen up, I've got a story that you won't believe. I've been working at my job for the last 4 years right out of school. I'm a six-figure tech girly who just realized HR is not your bestie. Listen, I am coming to you today because I am officially at my limit. I am sitting here in my apartment that my 120K salary pays for, looking at my dual monitor setup, and I'm actually shaking. If you're new here, hi, I work in tech. I'm a project manager. I spent 4 years grinding, getting the certifications, learning the corporate speak, and landing the role that everyone told me was the dream. And don't get me wrong, the direct deposit is a dream. The benefits are top tier, but the drama, the psychological warfare happening in the Slack channels, it is giving Mean Girls Meet the Office, and I'm just trying to survive the lunchroom. I need to tell you about the topic of the day, which is the absolute myth that is HR. If you are young, if you are just starting your career, or if you've just leveled up into a high-earning bracket, please hear me. HR is not there to be your big sister. They are not the school counselor. They are the legal shield for the corporation. Let me tell you what happened today. The incident, we have this senior dev. We'll call him Mark. Mark is one of those legacy employees. He's been with the startup since it was 3 guys in a garage, which apparently gives him the license to be the most condescending human being on the planet. Every time I lead a sprint planning meeting, Mark does this thing. I'll be explaining the roadmap, and he'll unmute without being called on and say, "Actually, I think what you're trying to say is," and then he just repeats exactly what I said, but in a deeper voice. It's heap-heating in its purest form. But today, it went too far. In a public Slack channel with 50 people, including my director, Mark posted, "Maybe if we focused more on the back-end architecture and less on the pretty slides the PM team makes, we'd actually hit a deadline for once." The pretty slides were the data visualizations I spent 12 hours on. The HR trap I was fuming. My heart was racing. I did the thing they tell you to do in the corporate culture handbook. I reached out to my HR business partner, Sarah. Sarah is lovely. She wears the girl boss blazers. She has the "You Are Enough" mug on her desk. She told me, "I'm so glad you came to me. We want this to be a safe space. Tell me everything." And like a fool I did, I spilled. I told her about the microaggressions. I told her about the pretty slides comment. I told her that the department feels toxic and that I'm losing sleep over it. I was vulnerable. I treated her like a friend. And do you know what Sarah did? 10 minutes after our private call, I got a calendar invite for a sync with my director and Sarah. The subject line, alignment on PM performance and team communication. They didn't call Mark in. They didn't reprimand him for being a public jerk. Instead, Sarah used my own words, my own vulnerability, to suggest that maybe I was struggling with the fast-paced culture, and that perhaps I should take a conflict resolution workshop. The realization that was my Leah moment. Remember how we talked about Leah trying to perform to be loved? I realized I was performing the good employee for an entity that only cares about the bottom line. In tech, when you make over 100K, you aren't just an employee. You're an asset. And HR's job is to make sure that asset doesn't sue the company or cause enough friction to slow down the mark types who built the code. They aren't there to fix the mean girl vibes in the marketing department or the God complex in engineering. They are there to make sure the company stays compliant. The tech girly, red flags. If you are working in a high-pressure, high-drama department, here are the things I've learned the hard way about who to trust. The friendly HR check-in. If they ask how you're really doing, they aren't looking for a heart-to-heart. They are looking for risk factors. Keep it professional. Keep it fine. The Slack snitches. Never, and I mean never, vent in a Slack DM. I don't care if you have the disappearing messages on. If it's on a company device, it belongs to the company. The culture committee, often the people most obsessed with company culture, are the ones creating the drama. It's a distraction. How I'm pivoting, I'm not quitting, I'm not letting Mark win. But I am changing how I play the game. I'm stopping the Leah performance. I'm not going to HR to ask them to fix my feelings. I'm documenting everything. I'm keeping a paper trail that isn't on a company server. I'm doing my work, I'm hitting my KPIs, and I'm finding my community outside of these 4 glass walls. The drama is always going to be there. There will always be a Mark who wants to talk over you. There will always be a Sarah who pretends to be your bestie while writing a memo about your emotional stability. But they don't get to have my piece. I'm taking my 100K loss, I'm putting it into my savings, I'm investing in my side hustles, and I am realizing that my time in the corporate world is praising God for the paycheck while refusing to worship the company.